Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. Today, we're stepping into the ring for a classic heavyweight bout, and it's one a lot of us face: gas versus electric water heaters. It's a matchup that literally directly impacts every single homeowner's wallet. And it's actually full of surprising twists and turns, depending on exactly where you live. So, we're going to break down exactly what you need to know to make the absolute best choice for your home.
Okay, let's dive into this. Because when you ask the big question, which heater actually costs more? Well, the answer really isn't as simple as just looking at that shiny price tag at the hardware store. Honestly, people make that mistake all the time. They just stop right there. But to find the true winner, we have to look way past the sticker price and focus heavily on those long-term operating costs.
So, here's the tale of the tape for today's explainer. First up, the upfront price tag. Then, the efficiency face-off, followed by a look at monthly operating costs, meeting household demand, and finally, choosing your best fit. All right, round one, the upfront price tag. Right at the weigh-in, electric models generally take the win here. They're typically much less expensive right out of the gate, mostly because they just don't require complicated venting systems or dedicated gas lines. Gas models, on the other hand, they pack a much heavier initial punch to your wallet. You've got to factor in the installation of venting, extensive gas supply work, and very specific safety controls. But there is a caveat here. If your home already has existing gas infrastructure piped right to the spot, well, that upfront price gap definitely narrows quite a bit. Moving on to round two, the efficiency face-off. So, standard electric resistance heaters are incredibly efficient at the direct point of conversion. They turn nearly all of the input electrical energy directly into heat. The problem is that their overall operating efficiency is often bottlenecked by the high price of the electricity itself. Meanwhile, gas puts up a remarkably strong fight here, especially the condensing gas models. These are cleverly engineered to actually capture and recycle the additional heat from their own exhaust gases, squeezing out literally every possible drop of performance. It's pretty smart. Now, what's really interesting is our wildcard contender, the heat pump water heater. This completely changes the game for electric options. See, instead of generating heat from scratch using a traditional electric resistance coil, a heat pump acts kind of like a refrigerator in reverse. It literally pulls ambient heat from the surrounding air in the room and transfers it directly into your water. Because this technology is moving heat rather than actively generating it, it drastically reduces energy use. We're talking substantial savings. But it does come with a catch. You absolutely must have suitable ambient conditions. It relies heavily on the ambient warmth of the surrounding air to actually work its magic. So if you put it in a freezing cold garage, it's definitely going to struggle.
Round 3, monthly operating costs.
I want you to just picture your last energy bill for a second. The reason there isn't a universal, one-size-fits-all winner in this debate is mostly because of two key variables. First, your local utility rates act as the ultimate referee. If you have high electricity costs but access to really cheap natural gas, the winner completely flips. And second, climate and seasonality play a massive role. If you live in a colder climate where temperatures regularly drop, your heat pump's efficiency goes right down with the thermometer, and that eats right into your potential savings.
Let's see how this builds on the previous point. If you live somewhere with famously expensive electricity, gas water heaters consistently deliver lower monthly costs. And as a bonus, they maintain a nice steady output regardless of those freezing ambient conditions outside. Conversely, if your local electricity is competitively priced, well then electric options, and especially those highly efficient heat pumps we just talked about, become the clear economical choice. Basically, your savings are inextricably linked to your specific local utility grid.
Round 4, meeting household demand.
Look, if you have a large household with high hot water demand, your absolute number one priority is recovery capacity. Just forget upfront costs for a brief second. The single most important metric for a busy family is simply how fast your heater can heat up a fresh batch of water after a teenager has completely drained the tank. We've all been there, right? And in the recovery race, gas generally takes the lead. Gas heaters often boast higher recovery capabilities across many different configurations, meaning you get hot water back much faster. Electric resistance units might actually require you to size up to a significantly larger tank or draw a lot more power just to keep up the pace. And as for our heat pump wildcard, well, its recovery performance heavily depends on the specific unit's design and how well that actually matches up with your household's usage schedule. To perfectly match your system to your true household demand, you really have to run down this checklist.
How many occupants are in the house? What's your typical shower frequency? Are you running hot laundry loads and the dishwasher at the exact same time everyone is jumping in the shower for work or school? You've got to consider if your water usage is spread out consistently all day long, or if you have a massive, demanding, peak usage spike right at 7 a.m. every single morning. And finally, round 5, choosing your best fit.
So the crucial point here is that your true champion depends entirely on balancing your upfront budget with your specific local utility rates and the available space in your home. If your main priority is the lowest upfront cost and you happen to have favorable electric rates, a standard electric tank model is your winner. If you want the absolute best long-term efficiency and you have the right ambient space to support it, the heat pump water heater easily takes the belt. But if you want the lowest day-to-day operating cost and you live in an area with incredibly cheap local gas, then a high-efficiency condensing gas model is your reigning champion.
But please remember, no matter which system wins your personal matchup, you have got to maintain it. Routine maintenance is absolutely essential to improve real-world performance and stop energy waste. This means doing simple things, like setting the correct thermostat settings, adding insulating blankets or pipe insulation where appropriate, and most importantly, ensuring the timely replacement of aging units before they catastrophically fail on you. Because nobody wants a flooded basement.
I want to leave you with one final, kind of provocative question to consider before you make this major decision for your home. Are you relying on generic national averages to pick your next water heater? Or will you estimate your lifetime energy use based on your actual local utility rates? Don't just guess. Grab your latest utility bill, look at the numbers for your specific home, and crown your own champion based on the facts. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep learning.